This is just one of those times when everything seems to go wrong again. If you missed the Chicago street race, seeing top contenders Larson and SVG finish at the bottom sums it all up. The Chicago street race seems cursed, with severe weather impacting it for 2 years straight. This year, the forecast showed only a slight chance of rain, but that small chance was enough to cause chaos. NASCAR fans faced disappointment during a weather delay for the second year in a row. It was worse because Shane Van Gisbergen, a fan favorite, crashed out just before the midway red flag. He received more cheers than Kyle Larson and had fans excited throughout the weekend. Fans tuned out after SVG's crash, making the rain delay harder to bear. Many blamed NASCAR for the late start time, which was set by NBC, not NASCAR. NBC prefers later start times for better ratings, even though these often lead to rain delays, especially in summer. Afternoon showers are common in warm months. TV networks like Fox and NBC factor a few rainouts into their business models. However, starting races earlier could provide a larger window to complete them on schedule. This is especially important at tracks without lights. Despite the setbacks, the Chicago street race has great potential. It has drawn fans from all over, including other continents. The event has been exciting with great racing and concerts. Local fans and visitors alike enjoyed the atmosphere, well, until the rain disrupted the event. Races in major markets like this attract millions of curious people. Tens of thousands visit the racetrack, many for the first time, enjoying concerts, food, and activities, with many sponsors involved. These events are significant and appealing. Some fans prefer NASCAR to stay in the Carolinas and Floridas where its roots are. However, stock car racing hasn't been just a regional sport for decades. Stars like Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick are from California. Jeff Gordon also came from California, and Shane Van Gisbergen is from New Zealand. The Chicago street race can be very fun if the weather is good. During the Xfinity race, the atmosphere was great. Now, let's focus on the race itself, starting with the winner and finishing. Alex Bowman made a gutsy call. His crew chief, Blake Harris, decided to keep him out on older wet weather tires as a dry lane was forming. This decision pinned some faster cars like Bell, Reddick, Gibbs, and Gilliland just outside the top 10. As the weather clock ticked down, an interesting battle emerged. The wet weather tires still had some grip, but it was a gamble. Bowman had a good points day, earning 14 points in the stages. He was 16th on the playoff grid, the last driver in on points. Everyone in front of him, like Chastain, Ty Gibbs, and Chris Buescher, were within striking distance. Those 14 stage points were crucial. Bowman could have settled for a good points day, which would have been a smart move. Instead, they aimed for the win, taking a huge risk. But it paid off. Bowman took the lead from Joey Hand with an impressive inside pass. Many doubted if the 48 would stick, but Bowman managed it well. Good fortune and strategic decisions led to Bowman's victory. Christopher Bell was having a tough race. He was around 8th or 9th place when his tire started to perform well. Then Josh Berry hit the wall again, causing a caution. This wasted valuable time. As Bell was moving into the top 5, he got caught in a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tracked around Bell and got hooked, ending Bell's chances. This was the second year in a row that Bell had trouble in this race. Last year, he led the most laps and seemed likely to win. This year, he faced issues again, while Ty Gibbs also took himself out by hitting Brad Keselowski. Meanwhile, Alex Bowman was having a challenging race. Tyler Reddick was closing in on Bowman. Reddick was pushing hard trying to win, but he made a mistake and clipped the inside wall at the end. The error cost him the win. Reddick felt down, knowing he had a chance but couldn't execute perfectly. Bowman wasn't the fastest car that night. He wasn't even the 5th fastest. But his crew chief, Blake Harris, made a bold call, and Bowman executed it well. His pass on Joey Hand was impressive, securing his place in the playoffs. This was Bowman's first win in over 2 years since Las Vegas in 2022. The race had its share of drama. Before the red flag, Bowman made a mistake and took out Bubba Wallace. Wallace, another playoff contender, was spun out of the top 10 for the second week in a row. He was understandably angry. Bowman apologized, saying he misjudged the corner while adjusting his windshield wipers. Wallace was not happy and showed his frustration by sideswiping Bowman after the race, causing damage to both cars. NASCAR may look into this incident, similar to how they handled Carson Hocevar spinning Harrison Burton under caution the previous week. However, this situation happened after the race, making it slightly different. Alex Bowman seems to find himself in the middle of many incidents. Recently, there was drama with Kyle Larson, who was expected to perform well once Shane Van Gisbergen was out of the race. Larson had a top 5 car but crashed in the wet conditions, resulting in a hard impact and ending his race. This was one of the hardest impacts seen at this track. Both Shane Van Gisbergen and Kyle Larson were favorites coming into the race, especially after their strong performances on Saturday. However, they finished last and second to last, showing how unpredictable the race can be. Tyler Reddick finished second, a result that likely stings given how close he was to winning. Ty Gibbs came in third, and some of the fastest cars of the day included Shane Van Gisbergen, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Reddick, and Gibbs. Alex Bowman, who won the race, was likely the 6th or 7th fastest car. He finished 6th in the opening stage, showing he was competitive, but other cars, especially the Toyotas, were faster. Joey Hand finished 4th, and Michael McDowell, who qualified well and had a different strategy, managed a top 5 finish. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. managed a top 10 finish, while Todd Gilliland also had a good run, and Kyle Busch scored a top 10 as well. Bubba Wallace finished 13th, which was a decent finish considering the circumstances. Even though Alex Bowman won the race, Bubba Wallace gained a few points on the cut line. He's now 45 points back, which is still a significant deficit. Bubba is likely thinking about when he needs to win to secure a spot. If drivers like Kyle Busch, Gilliland, Briscoe, or Berry win, the battle for the playoff spots will be tight. Thanks to his win, Alex Bowman is no longer part of that battle as he has secured his playoff spot. The Chicago Street Race had mixed results. The novelty of the race is still exciting, but the event itself had some issues. Weather played a role, causing strange strategies and allowing some not-so-fast cars to finish well. The Chicago Street Race is originally a 3-year deal, and it seems likely that it will get a 3rd year. The city could opt out, but it's expected that they stick with it. Fans hope the 3rd time will be the charm, and fingers are crossed for better weather and a smoother race next time. Now, whatever your thoughts are, just write them down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more upcoming updates. Until then, make sure you stay safe and keep exploring.